So,
Hello,
I
YouTube.
don't like
Welcome
that.
on in. It's time for another episode of the TranScribeCast. With me today is the amazing PinkJustice and ChikiW, whose links to their Twitch and YouTubes will be in the description if I'm able to find their YouTube links. I, of course, have their Twitch links already. Today we're going to be talking about... Well, it's a strange but very important topic. Where did it go? Where did it go? Fuck! I already lost it! This episode is going to be about just general voice training. I'm sure you know that the TranScribeCast is targeted towards people that are looking to either feminize or go more masculine with their voices. But this is meant to help people that are, also not confident with public speaking, who might not enjoy their voice inherently and want to sound a little different. I sadly cannot help with stutters or other speech impediments like that. I would love to learn how to, but all I can really help with is tonal training at the moment. So that's what we're going to be talking about.
Awesome.
Sounds fun. I know nothing about the topic too, by the way, so I'm gonna learn.
That's the beauty of this.
Water good. Just know that. Water good.
Whether you're an expert or a newbie or just an ally, anyone and everyone is welcome here. Let's start the music.
Safe space.
So, today we're talking about how you can fix yourself, or how you can tweak your voice regardless of your status, or regardless of what you want to do. Let's say you have a super thick accent, a super thick regional accent, and no one can understand what you're saying except other people in that region. This is something that might be able to help you with enunciating better or tweaking your accent just a little bit so that other people will be able to understand what you're saying. So, do either of you have any experience with voice acting, or, well, you have a lot of experience with public speaking being streamers. Outside of streaming, do you have any experience with public speaking or anything like that?
Do you want to go first?
You want me to go first? Okay.
Sure.
So in uni, I actually took a voice acting class, so that's what actually got me into voice acting. After that, I took a movie, a acting on the camera, so that also helped with me getting used to my voice publicly and being able to hear it back and being able to be in a scene with a group or one other person, and basing my voice on what's going on around me and what kind of tone or mood they want in the scene. And after that, after I graduated, I tried voice acting for a year and a half, I would say. Did not go anywhere. I got a couple gigs. So if you can find my voice somewhere on YouTube somewhere. But after that, it kind of just put a strain on my voice, and I just couldn't have the time to keep up with any of the gigs because the voice acting scene is very competitive. So
Dear fucking Lord, is it?
It's, oh god. But after that, I just kind of grew out of voice acting, but I still have a couple voices I can do here and there, or I like to practice voices off camera, or and so that's all I do for public speaking, speeches and stuff like that. I have no tips or tricks for that. I do not like to publicly speak because for me, I have social anxiety, so being in a big group is a no go for me. So I get the nervous butterflies in the stomach. So,
Eesh.
but that is me.
How about you, Pink?
Sure. I can. I'll be first, and I'll be very honest. I have no experience in terms of voice acting, voices, or the rest of it. Funny thing is, I was born and raised in the South, and I'm sure you can hear that in my accent that I have right now. I don't know why I didn't pick it up.
Saying pink. Let's go.
Yes.
Actually, I don't really hear it.
Let's go. What's your favorite barbecue though?
Well, that's a loaded question because everywhere has a different specialty,
Yeah,
and the
it
only way to
does.
fully experience the barbecue is to just take a road trip and hit every place.
Yup.
You know, yeah. I'm just saying, like Tennessee has good barbecue, Texas, they all have a place in my heart, and I love fried okra. So.
Oh wait, I don't like that though. No.
It's okay. It's okay. That's my cultural background. I would say is Southern food, but I love it.
I love it.
That's cool. But back to I don't have anything in terms of voice acting. No, I don't have that. In terms of public speaking for work and the rest of it, I'm routinely in front of lots of people. It's I work from home now, which is kind of funny. Those who live with me have said they've heard me, especially if I'm streaming, speak for 16 hours straight in a day. For example, next week I have presentations in front of a couple thousand people, things like that. So in terms of public speaking, I don't actually have any problems with that. I have a decent amount of experience for that particular portion of it, but in terms of voices, nah.
Well, you would have some wonderful input and experience then on a few key points I would like to talk about.
Hopefully I will.
Have you ever struggled with or grappled with the but-ums or us before you got used to public speaking?
That's a good question.
You know what
you want
I
me
mean?
to answer now?
You know exactly
Yeah.
what I mean.
Oh, I do.
When you're in the middle of giving a speech and then you just take a moment to
Oh yeah.
what's the words I'm
Oh
looking
yeah.
for? Right?
Or
Yeah,
like, or when someone says like a lot.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
I had a class that was all about that in college as well. There I fucking go doing it.
Is there a name for that kind of like mnemonic activity like
I
that?
think there is. Let me look
think-
it up.
I'm curious. I wanna put a name to it and be
Let me
like.
see if I can look it up
I-
as well.
I use like a lot, so that's actually in my vernacular for sure. But I probably use the other ones as well, especially when I'm speaking off the cuff. I think I do a little bit more. In terms of the kind of like.
It says they're called vocal disfluencies. They are filler words.
So it's essentially something that where you're talking faster than what your brain is doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's kind of funny though because I have a lot of them, and I think it's because I think I have to talk to think. And people who work with me understand that if they're going to work with me, my brain may not end up where I started. I may take a winding path, and they're going to hear every step of the way vocalized as I do it. So, like I said, I do talk a lot, even in my working and my career from that perspective. So. Tricks and tips for doing ums. I think that's practice and recording and listening and knowing what you're going to say.
And I know a lot of people might
Yeah, you just have to like
grapple with
listen
that.
to it. Yeah.
A lot of people might grapple with that. One of the big... Hey, Bray Bray! One of the big things that I learned was that it's okay to take a moment to pause, a moment to put an ellipses in your speech, or take a moment to rest between punctuation points to collect your thoughts. Because sometimes when you butt on like actually a lot, it can cause people to listen to those more than what you're trying to say. I mean, there was a whole episode on How I Met Your Mother about that. Shout out to that fucking classic show.
I actually haven't seen it, to be honest.
Wait, have you? Wait, you haven't?
No,
seen it?
I haven't.
Oh,
That
There are tons
might
of
be
classic
a-
shows I haven't seen. Tons of popular things. That's definitely something that I feel like I should probably have seen, but didn't. I think I may have seen one episode, right? Yeah, that's about it.
Also, just a little friendly reminder for everyone in chat. My stream is marked as mature for specific reasons. If you are not okay with hearing foul language, respect yourself, respect your mother, respect me, get the fuck out of here.
Biscuits. There you go. That's the horrible language I use. Biscuits.
So yeah, I do say I do swear a lot. I do want to stop swearing because I tend to use the word fuck in place of my but ums and actually.
Don't use that advice then.
Yeah,
Change your likes to the
don't do
F-bomb.
that.
There you go.
Don't do that. Oh no.
I have a trained a way of speaking, so it's very easy for me to keep the swear words out of it, unless I'm playing like Apex, and then they come, and there's no way to
boy,
stop
howdy.
them. Like that's just
the doors open, just the water comes through.
yeah.
The water breaks through the dam. It's been holding you back so long. You're like, I gotta let it out.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I feel like it's the type of game. Could be why I don't play those on stream. I don't know. I'm also really bad at them. I think that may go hand in hand with the number of times I swear while I actually play the video game, right?
But that is something that people can be mindful of while they are trying to work on their voices, or they're trying to make some changes. There are different ways that you can work with your voice and change your voice and change your manner of speech beyond just tweaking yourself to sound a little more masculine or a little more feminine. Like, for example, before I started my transition, I was kind of like a nasally type of talker, kind of like this, where my voice kind of came more from my nose more than my throat, and I was kind of mumbly, gravelly. I didn't really talk a lot. And it was thanks to my speech therapist that I was able to get into this range naturally. And
That's really cool.
I became more aware of how to not speak with my nose, not speak with my not speak with my nostrils, as some people would say. If that makes sense so far.
I'm just imagining nostril speaking, but yes, I understand what you're saying. The mental image was good, though.
Also, hi, Jade.
Known.
Is that Jade Peppermint? The amazing Jade Peppermint?
Jade, hi Jade.
Hey, Jade. Good to see you, as always.
But, yeah, and then you want to talk about having a thick accent that maybe people can't understand exactly what you're trying to say. Because sometimes you have such a thick accent that you can't even say Papa Bugler alone. You can't even talk about a Papa Bugler alone.
Oh my god, Lumpy Space Princess from Adventure Time.
So, and then you start getting into trying to sound a little different, practicing with different accents that you're used to hearing. And you can sometimes dilute your accent with just a bunch of harmonizing exercises or vocal warm-ups.
Vocal warm-ups are key. Also, just taking care of your vocal cords, like eat healthy, drink a lot of water. Like voice actors, we drink tons of water. And like even during like a gig, you're just gonna be downing your water between each like dialogue.
I have so much water sitting next to me.
Yeah, like I got a lot of water too. I might need to go fill up one of my water bottles, but like you just
so thick you can cut it with a knife.
You just down. Also, cough drops. Cough drops help. We eat them like candy.
Really, I've not done that. I've mostly stuck to using tea and honey.
Yeah, so, water, tea, cough drops, and honey.
Yes, Orange, that's also because you guys like abusing the hydrate routine. As someone says in chat, Index drinks so much water during stream, she has to pee maybe a dozen times a stream. Thanks for calling me out.
Feel that. I've got like a 3-hour stream, and sometimes I gotta, It's a lot. Let's just put it that way. I had a 2.2 liter pink dumbbell shaped water pitcher for myself that I would use. It finally bit the dust, unfortunately.
Oh no!
But I would go through that whole thing easily in a stream. I have the throat lozenges nearby, and I also do a tea, but not too hot. I feel like that if it's too hot, it's a little rough on the throat. But other than that,
that's true. That's why I usually mix in like a spoonful of honey into my tea.
Mm-hmm. That was something I learned last year. I was streaming Dream Daddy, which has a lot of dialogue, and I read the whole thing, and I was losing my voice while I was doing it. Fantastic game, by the way. But like, that was my first experience
Corey,
actually
thank
losing
you.
it.
I'm sorry I couldn't make it to the Rig sibling game tonight. I'm a little busy myself over here. Cordy's one of my Rig sibs, and they were setting up like a golf with your friends stream, and I am I would love to, but I've got this.
Finding time to do collaborations is hard. I'll be honest. So
that is very true.
I feel like I should publicly post my schedule, obviously actual activities redacted, to show people how little time I can find to fit anything in. But I do try to make an effort, but that effort sometimes falls flat. So I do my best.
Orange.
What did Orange say? Let me fight him.
I have a present for your co-hosts. Orange redeemed a Bara Bara. YouTube, this is a special occasion. Usually I don't do these live, but you guys get it. Live for once. Chiki, you know what a Bara Bara is.
Yes, that's
Pink,
why
do you know what a Bara Bara is?
I've seen your clip before.
Oh, you have? Well then,
yeah.
for everyone in chat, let me say this. A Bara Bara is just like an Ara Ara, except it's a little extra. First, you get your hands out in front of you, crack your knuckles. Bring your arms up overhead for a big stretch.
Okay.
Bring them around full circle and clench your fist with your open palm for a flex. And
Bada bada! Orensam! Ha ha! Bada bada!
I
Just like an Ara. I couldn't even hear the difference. Couldn't even hear a difference. Same thing.
So the joke is I made my Ara Ara 2,000 points.
Wait, did Orange get that?
Yep.
Orange, do it again.
But the Bara Bara is 2001 because it's a +1 to the Ara Ara. It's a joke.
It's just a little extra. That's all.
But back to what we were talking about.
I mean, I have a chocolate waiting for me. B redeemed chocolate, so I'm just like, do I do it?
Let's talk about accents as well. I'm sure you both, because I honestly did not know you guys were from the South with how you sound. You don't have thick Southern accents.
I do sometimes. Sometimes it just comes out naturally. And people are like, what?
And how did you get to your like current manner of speaking from your quote unquote native accents?
I don't know, I'm just speaking. Just didn't even think about it, really. So, yeah, it's just, my voice is just my voice, so I really didn't, like, think of, like, accents to do, but, like, sometimes I will have, like, a Southern accent come out, so sometimes it does come out like that. Whenever I speak, like, it has to be certain words that, my accent comes out.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Naturally, you won't hear it. There will be a certain couple of words or word choices that I use that will definitely indicate it. I think someone picked it up when I fell off of a jumping puzzle in Final Fantasy XIV, and I said something, and it sounded, and you could definitely hear a little bit of the southernness to it, but I never picked it up. Yeah, but I didn't. It was more of like a kind of a twang to it, but yeah, it was
dang, nabbit.
Something a little bit more like that. I can't actually do a full like twangy southern accent. Like
I
I mean,
can't either. Like, I can't like do it for like a whole sentence or like paragraphs or like dialogue or something like that. I can only do it for like maybe just one sentence.
Oh, well, you know what we call that here? We call that a little bit of a skill issue.
Yup.
I'd say that's a little bit of just unpracticed, is what I'd say. Something like that. I don't know. I that's more of like the drawl from like the Georgian accent, like that moves. Like if you take the Southern accent and you take it from like Georgia and like move it over to Texas, you lose a little bit of that thing. But it's like this slow gradation of a change in that Southern accent, and you get more of a twang in different places and stuff, and more of a drawl in different other places from there. Very interesting. I watch a lot of YouTube videos on it. I can't do it. I can't do it consistently,
also,
but I'm very interested.
I do not have the regional accent of the most common regional accent of the area that I live in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have that Chicago accent. Let me tell you, the Chicago accent is pretty much Wisconsin adjacent.
You could do like Minnesota. You just have like a Minnesota.
Oh, you want me to sound like I'm from Minnesota? I can sound like I'm from Minnesota. But sometimes someone that's from Minnesota might want to sound like they're not from Minnesota. And that's just a matter of trying to tweak it just a little bit with a little bit of harmonization over time, and eventually you could start talking like you have a diluted accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
Chicago one's an interesting one.
I'm
too.
sure you guys can hear me talk, and I don't hear an accent myself, but it would be hard to place where I'm from if you don't hear like a thick accent.
Yeah.
Because I worked to get rid of like my nasally manner of speech and my accent at the time.
I mean, you don't have the Chicago portion. I actually went to high school in Chicago area, so familiar with the accent. Didn't.
Da Bears.
Da
Bears.
Basically.
We're talking about the Bears. We're from Chicago.
I loved it. I loved living there. I saw the Bears like once or twice. It was good.
The canonical response to anyone commenting on your accent, by the way, is, I don't have an accent, you do. We had an episode of the podcast all about that. That was episode 2. We were talking about everyone has a goddamn accent.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, they do.
They do.
Even when you don't think about it, you do.
You know, Ross,
You have
that's
certain ways
also
of saying
very
things.
Interesting. A lot of the times, your manner of speech and thickness of your accent can be tied to how long you live somewhere. And in the case of someone like Roxas over here, who moved around a lot, never really had the time to pick up on an accent.
Or just pick pieces from different areas. There's ways that people, I feel like, in the United States, sound and have some similarities of pronunciation versus different areas that also speak English across the world. There's my It's my allotment for the night. I'm just kidding. But to your point, there's always an accent from some perspective somewhere else, and you're picking up pieces. Like, I will have things like, I'll also say I'm fixing to do something, which is a word choice thing that comes from the South. And I've had people comment on that. I don't live in the South right now, so it sounds very odd when I say it. I'm just trying to think of other things that are, so it's word choices, accents, things like that. And then, yeah, I never got the Chicago one either. I can't even try that one. I can at least try to do something from the South.
Oh, I apparently am bleeding.
Oh no.
Go put a band-aid on. Oh wait, no.
Slap a band-aid on it. You're good.
Alcohol wipe, then a band-aid.
Probably better.
This isn't Project Zomboid where you just like, bam, band-aid.
Yeah.
Project Zomboid, where opening a door may result in you spraining your ankle and dying of gangrene.
Yes.
Somehow.
Now that's the Oregon Trail. That's the Oregon Trail.
I just got dysentery a lot. That's all I'm dying from it, playing that game.
Oregon Trail taught me how to not get dysentery.
Nah, I never learned. I never finished that game.
Really?
I tried as I might.
I've never played it. I've only heard terrible
Literally,
things about it.
we had a class in my middle school where all we did in the computer lab was play Oregon Trail until we beat it. That was our class.
Yikes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of people got dysentery.
Yeah. I think that's the running joke from it, is that you get dysentery and die from it. I'm sure there were a number of other things that I died from, probably got washed away in a river trying to cross it.
Oregon Trail
Who
told me
knew?
to not play Oregon Trail.
Oh.
Don't try cross a river that's raging.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, who knew? I do now.
I
Thankfully,
do
the
now.
simulation.
Oh my gosh.
See, what else can we discuss?
I mean, I'd have a question. I mean, both of you
Oh,
being
please.
voice actors.
Also, if anyone has
and
any questions in the chat, please feel free to ask them.
Where would you start? Like, for someone like me, like, imagine, like, so seasoned enough in speaking, not nervous in front of an audience, don't really have a problem leaning into anything. Like, that doesn't worry me. But mine is more like, I would say, where would you begin? Like, what would be your advice for someone like myself who either, you know, was interested to having more vocal control over their voice?
I would say, depending on what you're looking to do, is what you need to consider first. Are you looking to just get into voice acting? Are you looking to change your tonal resonance to sound more masculine, more feminine? Because there are a lot of tutorials online that will teach you how to do different things with your voice, depending on what you're looking to do. Like, hey, I'm looking to get into voice acting. There could be a tutorial that tells you, like, hey, these are some sites that you can use. This is some equipment that might be recommended, but not something that you need to do. Also, let that be known. For anyone getting into voice acting in general, your equipment doesn't need to be top of the line. It just has to be good enough for recording. And
You just need a really good like
a pop filter at
studio.
least.
Yeah, you need a really good studio. So I know a lot of people that what they do is like they have like a shelf. They put their mic on the shelf. They have their laptop or iPad or like a tablet with the lines on it. And then what they do is they build like a homemade, or you could just do this. You can put like sheets or blankets or something that is soundproof over you, or you can make like a DIY studio. I knew like I saw a guy build like this little like stand that was taller than him out of PVC pipe, and he would just hang sheets and blankets over it while he was recording, and that would help with the soundproof of the recordings, so it wouldn't like bounce around as sometimes, as you can hear in the background of the recordings, you'll hear like echoes, or you'll hear them like sound like they're far away. So that's a good way to combat the technical like side of things.
Yeah, you're basically looking to break up sound reflections in your room, either through absorption or different deflection and diffusion of that through different angles of things within your room.
So long as
Like,
the
if you're
material
gonna
is soft and not flat.
Yeah.
Because a flat
Yeah.
surface tends to reflect sound waves.
Yep. What
Yeah.
also helps is there's a handy dandy trusty thing called I forget what it's called. It's like a shield. I think it's a soundproof shield. It's something that goes around your mic. It can stand.
A pop
It has like a
filter?
tripod. No. It's not a pop filter. It's an actual like soundproof. Like the soundproof. What is it called?
It's like a little U shape around it, right? That kind of like you're
Yeah,
speaking
yeah.
into that. It's like you're speaking into
Yeah.
almost like a box of
Oh, a
things, so your
shotgun
voice
mic.
doesn't get.
Foam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't get reflected. Yeah.
So it helps with like the reflection as well and stuff.
What
I
would
have
you say
one
are
of
some
those.
good budget options for mics aside from Blue Yeti? I personally like Elgato.
Elgato's pretty good.
Because they
Razer
usually
has some
have
good ones.
built-in pop filters. Because pop
Um,
filters, if a mic doesn't come with a pop filter, you have to buy a pop filter to go with it, and sometimes they're bulky, and sometimes they can be a little expensive. And then you also have to tend to the cleaning of a pop filter, which can be very, very disgusting.
I've actually never had to clean my pop filter, and I've had it for years. Also, Razer is a good choice for. I use the Razer. I think it's Basilisk. That one's good for. I got it on sale. It was usually like $130. I got it on sale for like $53 on Amazon. You can get a lot of good stuff off of Amazon on sale. That's when I get like all my parts and all of my stuff on sale. Or I get all my like mic stuff on sale from Amazon. But this one comes with a noise suppression already inside of the mic. It doesn't. I don't think it comes with a pop filter. Just I guess that's what the noise suppression is. I guess. And then it also comes with a compressor as well. So it's a compressor mic / noise suppression mic. And then I have my pop filter before that. And then behind it is that shield. The shield, foam shield.
I know what the shield you're talking about now is. It's to prevent it's to prevent background noise from bouncing into the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's to prevent the reflections from there.
Yeah.
But back to what you had asked, Pink. For anyone looking for
Also
tutorials on things like feminizing or masculinizing your voice, there are plenty of tutorials online. And I have said this before, and I will say it again. My method might not work for you. Another method might not work for you. These are tutorials that you can try out and see if they work for you, and if they work out for you but not perfectly, maybe you can tweak them. It's the same thing as like with art or writing. Like, not everyone will go into art doing the Loomis method. Not everyone in art will go in doing perfect realism anatomy methods for their artwork. I don't use the Loomis method for drawing heads or bodies or anything like that. I have a different method. Because I found a different tutorial and I was like, hey, I like that shit. That shit's easy for me. That's easy for me to understand.
Yeah, it's all about researching and finding your own style and feeling comfortable with what you have found and that you feel you will get the most benefit out of doing. And
Yeah, you gotta find your hashtag aesthetic.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to. It also, I think, as earlier when you asked about, or Justice's question, it definitely depends on also what kind of voice acting you want to do, because there's tons of kind of voice acting. There's like, you got your advertisements for like commercials. You have your video game voice acting. You have your shows, like your animated shows voice acting. You have what is it called? Literature. You have your audiobooks. So it definitely depends on also what kind of voice acting there is, because every type you have to have a different kind of like vocal, not tone, but presentation. Because for audiobooks you have to be like very slow when you read, and very you have to
Yes, you have to intonate and
everything.
enunciate a lot clearer.
Yeah.
For
Slow is not good for me. I'm not going to be an audiobook
No,
person.
that reminds me of something like for animated series, efforts. That's something that you also have to be aware of. You have to be ready to do efforts.
Yeah.
Where you just spend like 20-30 minutes just like,
Ha! Yeah!
Yeah.
you
so,
basically go in being like Link.
yeah, and there's like
That reminds me of a very funny story. Have you ever seen like the Star Wars Clone Wars or anything like that?
I have, yeah.
all the time. Why? I just
The
finished
voice
watching it.
actress for Ahsoka was giving a little speech about like how to aspiring voice actors, and how the one thing that you should be aware of is that effort sounds are going to be some of the most awkward moments of your life, but also some of the most hilarious moments of your life. And she recounts going through like 20, 35 minutes of effort sounds of her just going like, ha, ha, and she says, like, on paper, or in the show, they sound perfect because they get mixed in with, like, where they're supposed to go. But doing that for 20, 35 minutes can sometimes sound a little suggestive. And then she says, after doing this for a 30-minute session of effort sounds, where, like, hey, you're supposed to sound like you're fighting, you're supposed to sound like you're getting hit and all that, or you're supposed to sound like you're struggling, the director comes in and gives me $20 and says, thank you for the show. as like a joke. I broke. I started laughing my ass off. Like, you know,
That's pretty funny.
spending 35 minutes sounding like you're struggling and trying to break free from something and fighting can actually sound like something else.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like other work too for like animal creatures, like video game like animals and stuff like that, and just like what is it called? Oh my gosh, it's like the background noises too. Like
Oh,
you can
I
make,
know what you're
like,
talking about.
human-made like background noises.
Yeah.
But I forget what it's called. Oh my gosh.
Foley?
It'll come to me later. Yeah,
But-
Foley. Yes.
Okay.
So there's also area for that, but also for going back to the advertisements, like for commercials and stuff, there's also different types of commercials as well. There's like hard sell and soft sell. So for soft sell, that is gonna be like the voice is soft and it's just like seductive and stuff like that. Trying to like
If you're
please you.
allergic to this medicine, don't take it. Please consult your doctor before taking this medicine.
Like that.
Side
but
effects
for
may
hard
include
sell,
blowing the fuck up.
explosive diarrhea. You never know.
And the hard sell is more like talking fast and like doing like the whole like
yeah, kind of like a car salesman.
Yeah.
Kind of like thing. Or like, come on down to my shop. Blah blah blah. And stuff like that.
It's like, come on down. We got this great streamer over here. It's index page. We can see all types of things over here. You got lots of people here. That kind of thing.
like an auction
hyped up,
house. It's
going there.
auction house almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's different types of like advertisements as well, and then for like game and animated, that just has a wide range because it just depends on what the directors and what the screenwriters have written down. So it depends on like the mood, how long the dialogue is, if you get any breaks, how many characters you have to do. I've had to do so many characters for like a one freaking like piece, so it was just me talking to myself. So
Yeah, that's another thing that you have to be ready for. Unless
Yeah.
you're in a conversational piece, you might be sitting alone just
two characters
to
talking
yourself.
to themselves. Yep,
And-
two different voices talking to themselves, but still you.
The other thing that you have to be ready for is spacing out your lines. Because if it's just you reading lines in a conversation, but it's only you reading, you can't just like go line to line to line to line. You have to
No.
space them out with pauses so that the audio guys can like clip it and ship it.
Yep.
Trust me, I know that trying to clip my own stuff. I speak way too fast.
Yeah. So
Subtitling, it's a pain. I'm just going to be real honest.
Can I make a
That-
good example of a table read compared to booth read? Please do, Orange.
But also what helps is if you want to get into the scene, just practice yourself doing different types of dialogue and make yourself I was told to make it an minute and 30-second voice acting reel. So you just make a minute and 30-second voice acting reel just of your best, what you think your best voices are, scenes are, monologues, dialogue, just what you think the best is. And then from there, you can keep on like adding more to it or taking stuff out, and that's what I was taught to do.
See, I was really, I tried a couple times last year. I did a few things that I found, and I did a couple of kind of voice lines and things like that. I did some on TikToks, and I enjoyed it. I actually had a fantastic idea or a fantastic time doing it and trying stuff out. It was very fun, very experimental. Part of my issue with like continuing it was like trying to get material to do it, because I am a lot of things. I am not creative in the writing department.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that for me was
so-
like
yeah,
trying to
you-
write something.
Yeah, you definitely, because I've seen some instances where copyright, just
Yeah.
copyright. So
I mean,
That's
a
why
section
I've
of this
written
video is
all
going to get
mine.
copyrighted because I have a DMCA free playlist going on right now and still going to get DMCA bonked somehow.
oof.
Jeez. I mean,
Unless you
the
turn
thing,
it off. Sometimes Twitch turns off the songs for you.
Oh, I'm talking
mute.
about
The playback.
I always take my recordings differently from OBS.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
and
as you were saying.
I was worried about kind of what I've heard is you shouldn't use material obviously for any kind of like demo reels or public things that are like that you're going to be publishing or showing to others. I'm sure you can practice with lines and things like that to try characters out that exist, but for your own practice perspective.
Yes.
I absolutely understand exactly what you're talking about. Like, if I'm going to be trying to do a Joker voice, I'm not going to be reading Joker lines because those are lines meant for the Joker in a Joker animated series. Or a Batman animated series. I could just start talking like Joker and just reading a normal day, everyday happenstance for him, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to read lines that are already being used in media.
Yeah.
Yeah, just got to be self-aware. And what they taught me at those two classes that I stated earlier, the movie and the camera and the voice acting, we had to write all of our scripts. Even with our partners, we had to sit down with our partners, write down the script, say who, or like write the characters' names, say who's gonna be which character and stuff like that. And but what we did was we based it off of the strengths of the other partner. So we made a character based on their strengths, and then my character would be based on my strengths. And then we just chose a scenario that would just fit right in to both of our strengths. So,
And that's another thing that for anyone that's looking to not even for voice acting, not even for like just like regular talking and all that. Play to your strengths as opposed to playing to your weaknesses in your voice. And what that means is like what am I? Chiki, what am I trying to say?
I don't know.
Don't think about what you can't do. Think about what you can do and go from there.
Yeah. And you can make steps to go from where you are to where you want to be. But play to the strengths to get you there. Like, don't...
I mean, that...
Oh, sorry, you first.
Go ahead. You finish.
You-
I was going to jump into something.
I use the weightlifting and gym analogy a lot when I talk about voices and all that. Do not go into the gym on your very first day expecting to lift a 500-pound deadlift. You are not going in Thank you, Spotify, for that little sound there. You are not, unless you're like literally built different. If this is your
Just a
first time
god.
ever going in for weightlifting, you are not deadlifting 500 pounds. Do not go in expecting to lift that much. Go in expecting to lift a certain amount and play to that, and work up to where you want to be. if that makes sense.
I mean, I don't know about you. First time on the gym, I put that 500 pounds on, and I ended up in the hospital. I'm just kidding. You're absolutely right, though. You go to the gym, you're lifting the bar, and I don't care how strong you are. You start there and you go from there.
Yeah,
That's
and
good
even
advice.
people that can lift 500 pounds will do warm-ups.
Oh, yeah.
They don't go straight for it. They warm up. Even Olympians, even world record holders warm up because they have to get ready.
Paige, I'm
Don't-
gonna be right back.
Oh, take your time.
I'm gonna go grab, like, I have all of my voice acting stuff right in my closet, so I'm gonna go grab some stuff that might be helpful with this. So
Please do, please do.
Yeah, the gym analogy works well for me. I'm an avid gym goer, so that's why I'm like, yeah, and I do lift a 400 and something pound deadlift. It's not about the numbers, but I still warm up with 145 or 135 is my starting lift.
Exactly.
Like I get that muscles going first before you put more load on it. And also, you should play to your strengths and not just in
whopping 50.
50. You got it. It's not about the numbers. I said it's just about doing.
Hello there, Violent Storm. Thank you so much for the raid.
Oh my goodness, is it Violet? Hello, Violet.
Hello there, Raiders. My name is Mark. Wait, sorry. Hold on. Hi there, everybody. I'm Index Page. I am the lovely spirit of a library and patron of its namesake. Hello and welcome on in. Yes, I have with me today Pink and Cheeky. For the Raiders, please enjoy your stay. Whether you're heading on out or here to stay, please grab a book before you leave. We're having a podcast today talking about vocal strength, vocal warm-ups, and how to just strengthen your speech naturally. For those of you new here, I am Index Page. I am an author. I am an artist.
I am also a voice actor of 15 years. So please enjoy your time in my little library.
Hi, Raiders.
Welcome in.
I was in the closet though. Wait,
Cheeky.
that sounded wrong. That sounded so wrong.
Can I ask, do either of you know Violet?
This is my first time meeting Violet. That was Violet's first time in chat.
Violet is an awesome unicorn, one of my favorite VTubers. So I'm just saying.
I just dropped a follow on them.
I really like her a lot. So she's very cool. She's pink adjacent, obviously.
My
being
mod recommended
Violet.
you for a raid since you're doing a podcast on trans topics. Thank you so much.
You know what? I am more than happy to keep helping out anyone and everyone in the trans community because I am true to myself.
I am happy to use this wonderful, wonderful talent of mine.
To help everyone and anyone I can. I will put 110% into helping anyone feel
More affirmed in their voice.
You're the best, Paige.
Oh, Violet, you have absolutely no idea. The amount of control I have, I can get maybe all the way up here without any struggle at all or any warm-up. If I absolutely do some warm-ups, I can get a little higher. So I can sound like I'm all the way up here, and at the drop of a dime,
I can just drop it on down low.
I cannot do low.
Behold the depths of Index Page.
I can do high.
I've got valleys and mountains, baby.
Yeah, I could never, that's one of my, weaknesses. I can't do low. I can't. I just can't. I just can't.
Well, Violet, you've found the right place because this is the podcast to talk about this kind of stuff. One of the things I do personally, and this was my method for training my voice, I have done vocal warm-ups and scales. Have either of you ever done scales?
Yes.
So, the
lot.
whole do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si.
Yup.
Have you done them
Yes.
as a slope as opposed to a staircase?
Yep.
So you know exactly what I talk about then.
Yup.
It's Pink, if you don't know, it's where you sound like you go from 1 to 10 or 10 to 1.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hama.
Without sounding like you're going up a staircase or down a staircase. So it's like
you're
1,
making
2,
it
3, 4, 5, 6. No. You want to sound like you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I don't do music much, but I do have a few friends that are singers, and I roughly am following. My ability to do so would probably take some practice.
Well, good thing it's a warm up.
Yeah,
And
good thing
the
it's a
thing
warm
with
up.
those
Warm
scales
it up.
is do not try and do them like I do them. It's a complete and utter disclaimer.
Yeah.
What I am able to do is from a lot of experience. I can do a very wide scale. I can go 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, 1
At this point. But when I was starting out, I was going like 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 6. I was struggling. So understand where you're starting from. Again, weightlifting analogy. And my method might not be the method for you. Some people find that lifting or lowering their larynx physically helps them out. Some people find that doing the head voice helps out. It's different for every person, but my method might help you out. My method might not help you out.
Yep. What we were also taught was 15 second, 30 second, and 60 seconds. So you basically make up your own kind of script or dialogue that will take you 15 seconds, and then the next one will take you 30 seconds, and then the next one would take you 60 seconds.
Huh. I've never heard of that method.
Yeah, we did that, and then you might like this, Paige, since you're the booklet.
Yes.
What we got for our class, it's a book called Voice Over Voice Actor, the extended edition. It's the second edition as well. And basically it just teaches you the in and outs of auditioning for voice acting, as well as like vocal warm-ups and exercises, tips for reading to the maximum effectivity, and then like other hints and tricks to voice acting.
Oh. I should look
So
into that
that is-
book.
That is what we were taught to read, and I can probably go see if there's any. I need to find.
Hi, Flo. Stream's going good. How's the Rigsib stream going, Float? Also, I will say this. One other thing to be aware of. If you're looking to get into singing, and you're looking to sing as a different person or a different character,
That is a whole fucking different beast in and of itself.
Oh yeah. Oh my.
Let me
God.
tell you, when you get into singing, your voice wants to naturally go back to what it's used to.
voice acting combined with singing in and of itself is a whole different eldritch beast.
I'd just love to be able to sing with my own voice, so we'll start with that. Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, I can imagine. That would be like, I imagine going into singing, because you're looking at all the technical aspects of that, you would be really hard to maintain some kind of voice.
Like, I'm not an expert singer, but I still enjoy singing when I can.
Yeah.
And it's
I mean,
thanks
I
to my
enjoy
booklets
singing,
that
I'm just
gonna
not
have
good
to
at
start
it.
singing its different characters as well. Violet, you can work on your voice on your own time when you're feeling better. And please, understand that it's not a race, and if you need any help or you have a bad day, I am here. Everyone in this community is here for you. And that goes to everyone in the chat. We're here to help each other out along the way. I'm very sweet. Please don't taste the book. I don't want to be told I'm sweet.
So I'm kind of hungry. I'm just Just kidding.
Oh, have you ever done karaoke?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I hate it.
Not on stream. I love it though.
Oh, thank you, Jade. You've been sick for months? Oh god, I hate
Love you,
that.
Jade.
I am not a scratch and sniff book. No, bad.
Yo, the scratch and sniff markers. Or
Let me
the
say
stickers.
this. My go-to karaoke song is a duet that I sing on my own.
Ooh. Bold. You are a bold one.
I mean, my go-to karaoke song is Just the Two of Us, and I duet it myself because it's just the two of us. We can make it by just the two of us. Just a flex, you know? Also, I have noticed that once I started going through all the harmonization and, like, getting my voice to where it is, I got a little better at singing. I used to be really fucking tone deaf. I still cannot, for the life of me, hold a note longer than 3 seconds.
That's like probably 2.9 seconds longer than me, so you're really good if you compare it.
Hello there,
I did,
Gabs077. We are having a podcast talking about vocal warm-ups and just strengthening voices in general. Welcome on in!
And anything that derails the podcast.
Yeah, we've
You
been
know what? It
derailing it
wouldn't
a
be a
little bit.
podcast without being derailed. We are
That
multi-track
is very
drifting this
true.
bitch.
we gotta multitask.
Yeah.
But
And it's
I found
also
the
an
book.
instrument you have to learn how to care for properly, Violet.
Oh, hi,
Drink a lot
Mark.
of water.
Water, tea.
Also, watch out for stuff that is very acidic.
Oh yeah. Acidics will really fuck your throat up if you have too much of them.
Yup. So, like, orange juice, do not drink orange
Oh.
juice before you go to an audition.
Or dairy.
Or dairy, cheese, chocolate. Chocolate's actually bad
any
too.
sort of dairy.
Really?
Chocolate, milk, cheese, any sort of dairy before you're doing an audition or trying to do some recording.
Because you will sound nasally.
Dairy naturally produces it naturally helps your body produce mucus.
Yep.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't drink too much of it. I'm like, I should definitely stay away from the chocolate. That'd be the one that would get me. I'll be honest. I wouldn't
Yup.
love that so much.
So you gotta watch out for those.
Don't drink orange juice in general. I don't want to die orange.
Drink orange juice and just eat a lot of chocolate. There you go.
Orange man and I don't want to die.
Nah, orange is definitely that person that drinks orange juice and then brushes their teeth.
I'm in danger.
Oh gosh, that's just like, that's bad.
Yeah, don't do it. I've done it. It's bleh.
I know what you mean, Violet. I know what you mean.
But another good exercise is breathing. Breathing control. So those are what we were taught is we were taught some breathing control exercises, and it would help with your like diaphragm of your lungs and like of just your chest. And because what they taught us was not to speak from your like nasal, from like as Index said earlier, nasal, speak from the chest. So
One of the
that
things
is
I learned
what
to do, to
weird.
grapple with that is naturally getting used to breathing through the nose and out through the mouth.
Mhm.
So I normally like breathe in through my nose and breathe out through my mouth. But if I'm doing like long reads, I will breathe in through my nose and use the speech as a method of breathing out.
Yep.
So I will take a
Also-
moment to... Alright, so we're going to be talking for a little bit and just getting ready to go on a run-on sentence or run-on paragraph where I can discuss any sort of thing where I'm just rambling on and on. And take a moment to breathe in and just use my speech as a method of breathing on out.
Yep. Also helps with what I like to do before I do have to like give a speech or anything. I like to do big breaths in and out, and I'll do like maybe 3 to 5 of them, and it just calms me down before I do a speech, or if I have to like talk to a big group. So
Very, very helpful. Like sometimes
Yeah.
just taking deep breaths can help you calm down, relax, and be ready to speak a little strongly.
Yep. It just mentally, not reset, but just mentally calm down.
Does anybody else have any questions, whether it's from my guests, for my guests, or from the audience? I'm happy to field any and all questions related to the
mentioned
topic at hand.
All questions. All right.
I caught myself.
All
Don't you
questions.
don't you fucking dare.
No, I'm just reading the book right now, and one of them's just breathing. Just do it! And then on the next page it says, no, seriously, just do it. Don't stop breathing.
You know, breathing is
there's-
pretty pog. I enjoy
it-
oxygen.
Definitely need to breathe. And I mean, also one thing, like I would imagine this tip for anything, and we kind of mentioned it before, but like in terms of public speaking, slowing down in a pause is okay. You don't have to fill every space. Like that's one of the things that I had to learn, and I do a lot with the speaking portion. From an anxiety perspective too, the breathing techniques help, and I also think it's about putting yourself in the right frame of mind. It's your audience. It's not anyone else's. You have total. You will never. The one thing I'd say, like, because this is coming from experience, right? I've done public speaking in front of thousands of people, right? There will be no time in your life that you have as much control over what goes on and people's attention as that moment. There's nothing they can do about it. And I don't know, that's like a bit of a frame of mind. I don't know if that helps others, but like that is a piece where you are like, you're in total control. It's like when you're in the stream, right?
Yep.
You're totally in control of what's going on here, minus technical issues, obviously. But other than that, everything else is completely within your control. And I think it's a really important thing to get in the mindset of. And for me, that really helped the anxiety around any of it, because then you can slow down, you can take your time, and no one else is going to be like, hey, you got to go faster. No, you got to go do this. You got to do that. No, this is your world. This is your frame of reference there. And you can do whatever you want with it. And that helped me get out of the nervousness of like, what are they going to do? It's not a big, I'm the one who's controlling the narrative here. So.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Pink, from the audience. And I can help
me?
answer this as well because we talked about it earlier, just briefly. I have a question for PinkJustice. When it comes to public speaking, my question is, I've heard that rather than using filler words, you can use breaths. Is it true? And how would it work if it is? You can take moments where if you realize that your brain is about to stumble or move on ahead or is lagging behind your voice and you're about to start using filler words, you can take a moment to pause on a word and collect yourself. It's all about punctuation, and especially when it comes to public speaking, taking a moment to pause and collecting yourself can help people like pay attention to what you're saying more, and it can let you get a moment to get a fucking breath in.
Yep.
Also, drink water.
Yeah, I was gonna say drink of water.
Drinking water. That's
Yeah,
why a
yeah,
lot
that
of
too, that
people
too.
have water bottles or like a glass of water or like a cup of water.
Speaking of, we gotta hydrate, Radine.
You gotta
grab
hydrate.
some water. I'm thirsty now with all the water talk.
I
It's
have a
great
tea.
technique in an interview too. If you need a chance to think about the answer to your question, always get a glass of water for those.
Yeah, or I know what I've learned is that don't be afraid to say like not, you can say, but you can also like physically show like, give me 1 second, basically. Like let me think about it first and then I'll answer you properly. So you do have that break before you say something as well to actually think about what you want to say.
Yes, especially when it comes to public speaking and you get to a point where you need to discuss something poignant. You could say, you can flat out say, allow me to collect my thoughts, or allow me to rearrange my words so that I can convey this message to you properly. Because if it's something important and something that you need to cover, especially when it comes to like in public speaking or anything like that, making sure you get the words right is a lot more important than just getting the words out.
Yeah.
And I would say different pauses, being able to say things like that. And I mean, this goes definitely with streaming too, is when you take that moment, you can also, if you've lost your train of thought, if you've done something like that, you can take a moment, you can express that. Those things allow you to seem human. I mean, obviously, we're not doing State of the Union addresses or something. That's a different ball game, I would imagine, from what most of us are doing, right?
Yeah.
But you can use those moments to humanize yourself in front of the crowd, and it allows you to be more relatable. And that actually keeps audience engagement. If they understand, if you're speaking to them as a person versus, hey, I'm reading off of a script, and if I don't get every word right, and if I don't do this correctly, that kind of anxiety, that stiffness to it, you want to kind of shake that off. And it's okay to pause, and it's okay to take something else. Yeah, like the scripted ones are a different ball game when you absolutely have to stay on target and on word. But for most other types of presentation type activities that you're more likely to be encountering, depending on your job or your role, things can be a little bit more off the cuff, to be honest, and you can take a moment to pause, and you can use that, you know what, I lost my train of thought on that one for a second. Let me collect my thoughts here. And then you take your sip of water and you got like 5 more seconds. Now you can actually bring it back, and the audience can relate to that, right? Everyone's been out there and they've lost their train of thought while they're in front of other people, right? We can all feel that same emotion. And you've kept your audience engaged and feeling like you're a person, not a...
Oh, Violet, thank you so much for coming on
like
in, and thank you for the follow earlier. I hope to see you around, and please, if you would like to, come on over to the Discord so you can catch the next episode, or maybe come over to the YouTube channel so you can watch past episodes. They might be of great help. But
Yeah, I totally agree.
Back to what you were both saying. Taking a moment to humanize yourself and being like, I rambled on a little bit there and lost where I was going for my next point. What was I saying before this?
You're talking to Violet, I think?
No, that is exactly like one of the strategies that I use. Like when I lose when I lose track of what I was thinking of or what I was doing with my chat, I will take a moment and be like, man, what was I doing just before this? I got so focused on what we were doing right now, I forgot what we were doing before this.
If you really want an extra out, you just take that bottle of water, dump it over your head, and you're like, oh, I gotta clean this up. All right. See ya, everybody. Just kidding. little accidental spillage of something. You really need some time to kill there. Oops. Anyone got a napkin or a towel to clean that up?
Or just Eric Andre yourself. Just flail and jump off the screen and just be like, I'll be back.
I've had people they're like, why do you take so long to say something? And I'm like, because I'm thinking about what I want to say. Like, I don't want to say anything that'll be controversial or make me sound stupid or something. I just want to have a perfect sentence or paragraph of what I want to say first.
And in some cases, it's okay to use something like this. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I played the Eric Andre "We'll Be Right Back" clip.
No, I didn't hear it.
No.
Just went da 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 da.
We'll be right back. That's my mind. We'll be right back. And then we're back.
Extension. Let me just add this in as a sound button because that's a golden sound button.
Yeah, going back to warm-ups, there's also, vocal warm-ups and then, breathing control, but there's also facial warm-ups, and definitely take care of your face as well, like the muscles around your jaw and your lips and everything. You want to definitely strengthen those muscles.
Another thing that can help with preventing any of those fillers is sometimes your body's not used to talking for that long. A lot of times people will do not even vocal warm-ups, but mouth stretches, where you take the moment to open your mouth, like move your jaw in different directions, open your mouth as wide as possible, form different vowel sounds with just your mouth without making any noise, like, and then doing a little bit of like the red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. She sells seashells down by the seashore. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers.
Yep.
Doing anything like that can help you prepare for avoiding any of those vocal fillers.
Yep. Definitely, tongue twisters help with vocal. Those are some vocal warm-ups we were taught, was to do the tongue twisters, and then also humming. So humming helps as well. And then I think the other one was like sirens. Like that's how you gauge your like range. You basically like go like a siren, and then you can go high, and then you can go low, then you go back up high, and it's just like a roller coaster of the range. So that's what also we did warm-ups of.
Yeah.
And in terms of practicing, like, did you like? And I mean, I guess this is kind of regardless of it being voice acting or wanting to more feminize or masculinize in a word. I'm struggling.
You know what? I've always got
masculinization. I have no idea.
Masculinization, like feminize is a word that everyone's used to say. Not a lot of people are used to saying masculinize.
I'm tripping over it, thinking like, is that even the right like term, or do I try to say it something different?
Hung up or hanged up? Is it? Make sure it's hanged up. Like you hear the word hanged, and you're like, that doesn't sound. It's
gonna be
like
hanged
a
up.
word.
Hung up, yeah. I mean, what I was gonna say is like practicing that. I would imagine there would be times during your day that you would want to just try to spend a good amount of time going about your day speaking, and utilizing that after your warm ups and the rest of it. I think probably more so, I guess, if you're trying to do more of the long term sustainability of like. I'm tripping. I was gonna try to use masculinize again, and it like my brain was like, no, I don't want to use that
it's
word.
One of those words. It's like it is a word, but your brain's like,
it's not coming out. It's not coming out.
I hate those.
But yeah, I mean, I assume that you would want to utilize it throughout your daily life too, speaking to others. That's a guess of mine, so I'm asking if that would be something that you would do, or did you do in your practicing?
While I was practicing and on my personal journey, I would, before like going to work or anything like that, when I was going to the restaurant for work at the time, I would do my warm-ups. Some days I would challenge myself to, sorry, I had an itch, not do my warm-ups.
Gotcha.
Like whenever I got to a point where like, okay, it's time for me to try and do this without the training wheels and see how people view me, and eventually got to the point where people started saying miss, ma'am, when they heard me speak more often than not.
I mean, that's got to be quite a journey of practice and the rest of things that you went through there, and
it's also a very big source of dysphoria for some people, which vocal dysphoria is one of the, like, anyone can have vocal dysphoria, whether you're trans or cis or non-binary, anything. Because some people can be like, hey, I just don't like how I sound, and I want to sound like, I want to sound a little different. That's vocal dysphoria. Hey, I want to sound more like a man. Hey, I want to sound more like a woman. That's vocal dysphoria. But it's also a matter of like, okay, how do you want to sound? Because there's more than just one man voice. There's more than just one woman voice. I have two lovely gentlemen on either side of me, and they don't sound a goddamn thing alike.
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing wrong. They're both man voices.
Yeah.
They're both men. But they sound completely different.
And neither of us have a very deep voice, those kind of like ASMR style deep voices either, that you think of when you're like, it's a masculine voice, right?
Deep, gravelly ASMR voice. I can get down to that range if someone absolutely wants me to, but
I can't.
It's not something that I would want to do normally.
Also, I have a question for all three of you. Would you consider talking to yourself a way to practice your voice for either life or whatever you plan to do? Yes, and
talking,
Yes.
talking in the mirror. that definitely helps.
rehearsing and practicing in a mirror can help, but if you get too used to it, you will not. You might get a little caught up when a conversation doesn't go a way that you've practiced or planned. So
Yeah.
if you're going to practice in the mirror, practice more than one like routine, more than one like conversation. Do not have a set conversation, because if you're too used to going like, hey, how's the weather if you're too used to like doing the basic like, hey, how you doing, how's the weather stuff like that, once the conversation takes a step away from that, your brain will trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for I know there are a lot of streamers I have met throughout my time of streaming that have vocal dysphoria, and basically what my tip for them was to how I learned was to do a recording and then go back and listen to yourself and just keep on doing that.
Yes, that is another big thing.
I would say for me in this one, you know, since I do speak a lot. I speak a lot at work. I do streaming and the rest of it. If I've got something I've got to present on, I don't do word by word scripted speeches. My brain doesn't work that way. It gets frustrated in that moment. But I will have topics and I will go through them and I will do them and I will run through it while I'm doing something else. While I'm, getting ready for the day, while I'm making breakfast, while I'm cooking, because I want my brain to be half distracted while I do it, and then I figure out where I get tripped up, where I can't make that like smooth connection from the talking from one point to the next, or it doesn't feel right. Because when I'm not fully practicing, like focused on it, because realistically in life, I'm not focused on what I'm saying, like the voice I'm saying, the tone I'm saying, the things that I'm doing. And when I'm in front of a lot of people, there's a lot going on in my mind, right? And there's a lot that I'm going through. And so that allows me that level of distraction to make sure that I am truly competent around what I want to say, and where I can hone in on things that trip me up. So that's a bit of a technique that I do, is I will go through it while I'm doing something else. And I'll be like, I always stumble in this part. This is where I need to figure out, how do I connect these two topics in my brain? How do I vocalize that? And that lets me know where I'm probably the weakest in a particular topic or presentation for myself. And I also utilize that, probably does get helped a lot during streaming, because you have 100 things going on while you stream. And that also helped me in work, which is one of the reasons I took up streaming, was to get used to that. And that distraction while still having to be coherent is a skill.
Also, recording yourself and listening to yourself to help yourself get to a different goal point
Oh yeah.
can cause dysphoria still,
It can,
but it can
but
also be so much more helpful, because you can listen to yourself and be like, okay, this is what I sound like currently. I want to sound more like this character or this actor, and I want to start thinking, okay, what can I do with where I'm at currently from this recording to sound more like what I want to, and start making the steps. So yes, it may not be fun to listen to yourself talk, because we all hate how we sound, but it can also help you along the way.
You've got to listen. Go ahead.
As you said, Justice, you have to listen, because it is your voice, and it will help you in the long run, listening every time that you want to make those progressive changes to your voice. So through time and your constant like changes to your voice, you will find your style, your what you want your true voice to be.
Yeah. And
Question for
I
PinkJustice.
have to be clinical about it when I listen to myself, because I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't know why. Just don't like
I
listening to
judge you.
myself.
I
love
hated
your
the
voice.
sound of my voice when I started. I can listen to myself back in any recording now and be like, hey, that's me. I'm fine
Yep.
with how I sound. I'm still fine
Yep.
with how I sound.
I think it was the beginning I didn't like it, and then I've gotten used to it. And I'm like, actually, my voice really isn't bad. It's just, I think it was a little bit about listening to yourself being recorded, but it's a clinical thing that I had to put my mindset in. It's like, hey, this is for me to learn how to improve. And that's it.
We have a question for PinkJustice.
Ah.
What is the most amount of people you have talked in front of at any given time? And were you nervous at all for that number?
Let's see. The most
Oh,
I've...
oh.
Hmm?
I was like, ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because
So,
you mentioned thousands before.
yeah, I'd say the most I've spoken in front of is about 2,500 people.
Wow.
No, I haven't broken like a 10,000 mark or anything like that.
would've-
There are still achievements to
That's a
check
lot,
off.
though.
I would have been like, okay, I'm down.
Nervousness for that, like, I would say you never really get the butterflies out of your stomach at the point of going on. I don't know. Like, I don't think I'm not that seasoned to be able to claim that I didn't have a little bit of like that kind of, okay, that piece in my stomach. Was I truly nervous? Was I had a ball of anxiety? No, but that's like, also, I didn't go from like speaking to like 5 people to speaking to 2,500 people. So
all these
there's a
people
lot of
walked
steps
in.
in there.
Oh.
And yes, you slowly get the anxiety and the nervousness out of your system, and you know how to do it, and you build yourself up by taking a couple of steps in those directions. So yeah, do you have a little bit of like butterflies when it's like, you know, when you're about to do something? It's like when you're about to run a race, you're about to do anything, you know, that's important, right? You get a little bit of that nervousness in your tummy. But no, I'm not at this point. I think I would. I don't know. I don't think I'd say nervousness as much. Definitely a lot in the beginning. So don't feel bad if you're nervous about it, because yeah, it's a skill like anything else. You got to practice, and you get used to it, and you realize nothing ever has happened in any of the presentations ever. I've done hundreds of them, and nothing ever went badly. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about it after that point, and then you realize like, yeah, the next one's just another. It's just a number.
And yes, Orange, it is that gym reference again. A lot
Man, just
of
like
this can
everyone-
boil down
everyone
to preparing for the gym. Like I'm gonna say that a lot. I say that a lot here. A lot of it boils down to don't go in to 500 pounds off the bat. Even if you can lift 500 pounds, you need to prepare. You need to warm up.
Go in at 1 pound, and
Can
work
I-
up from there.
Yeah. Can I take your gym reference a little bit from there, since I do enjoy the gym? I would also say
Don't go train at
here's.
That's-
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was making a joke.
Okay. Sorry, I kept talking over you. Apologies. I would say the other thing is, and this does, like, I don't want it to sound bad. You're not going to be good at something the first time you do it. Like, if you're better than you expected, like, that's a huge, win for you, right? If you actually like, oh, I actually did better than I thought I would. But you're not. And it's okay. But you go to the gym, like, and I remember some of my first times in there, I'm like, I'm trying with the bar, trying to get my form right. And some of the nicest people to you when you're starting out are some of those people who've been doing it for years. And why? Because they know that's the first step. You could be the next person that really gets into it, really enjoys it, really builds up from there. Those people who are truly experts are not ever judging somebody for starting out.
Yeah.
They're just over there thinking like, awesome, we got another person who's interested in what I'm interested in. This is great.
Allow me
That's
to
the
take
first step.
that analogy and put it to this voice acting thing. I have people come in here and say like, your voice is so amazing. Oh my God, how do you do that? I would love to do this. I'm like, hey, I am motherfucking happy to help you. Like Violet came in here and Violet was saying, I want to do what you do. I'm like, you know what? I am happy to help you out. I am, in the analogy of the gym, I am one of those veterans that have been doing it for years. I've fucked around with my voice for about 15 years. And look at what I'm able to do with it now. I'm happy to help out anyone that's curious. Anyone that wants to do anything with their voice. So, yeah, don't go into this thinking people are going to be judging you. People are going to be there to help you along the way.
Right. I mean, you're an expert at this. Would you ever judge someone starting out as like, oh my gosh, why are they doing this? Like,
Fuck no.
I can't,
I'd be like,
I
hell
can't
yeah,
imagine. No.
I'd be like, hey, I would go in with like, hey, were you trying to go for something like this or something like this, or what is it you're trying to do? Because if you're trying to do something specific, I can help point you along the way. Like if you're trying to sound like a specific character, or you want to sound like you're trying to go for a specific regional accent, I can help you along the way. And I can listen to what you're at right now and be like, okay, so this is what I heard, and these are some tips that I might be able to provide. Or I heard that you were trying to go for this, but you kind of fell off at certain points, or certain words tripped you up. Be like, I'm here to be like, hey, I'm here to listen to you and help you out.
Yeah, like you just are like, here's some helpful tips and tricks, or here's some like warm-ups you can do, or here.
I've always wanted to do a Meatwad impression. Oh, Orange, boy howdy, I can tell you the Meatwad impression is gonna be coming when we have cursed karaoke.
Oh no.
Because someone requested that I sing 24-Hour Cinderella in Back of Me Tie as Meatwad.
24 hours. Who did that?
24-Hour Cinderella, a song from Yakuza 0. Pink knows
Yeah,
all
Oh,
about
it's a good
24
one.
hours.
It's so good.
Soon I love you, I love you.
I thought it was literally just 24 hours of just one song, and I'm like, wait, what?
And then there's also Back of Me Tie.
Oh no, don't ruin my song.
Don't ruin my song.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be having a cursed karaoke where I have to sing songs as different characters.
Did Orange put you up to it?
No. Let's see. What was one of the other ones someone requested? It was a very, very cursed one.
I blame Orange. I blame Orange either way.
Let's see. It
was
was
you, Orange.
Hold on. Someone requested that I sing as Spamton from Delta Room.
Oh, what? I don't think I've heard that.
Someone requested I sing Bury the Light as Carl Weezer.
Huh? What?
You know, I am the storm that is approaching.
Oh no.
Virgil's fucking song as Carl Weezer. Are you gonna finish that croissant? Jimmy's mom has got it
Oh
going
no, not that
on.
song. You stop it right there. No. We're not going down this route. Now it's gonna get stuck in my head. No, I got another song. God, why did you sing that song? Now I got Mickey. Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. I got that song stuck in my head. Oh my god.
Let's see, what was another good one on this list?
Now I'm gonna have that song in my head. Hey Mickey. Hey Mickey.
Oh, someone
Sorry,
asked me to
Kelly.
sing Down with the Sickness, but as Pamphlet.
I mean, I got a. Oh, you know another one. Oh, I got so many songs stuck in my head right now. We got the beat. I got that one stuck in my head. Oh no.
Yeah, they're not all from the same era. Oh, those two might have been from the same era.
Oh, it's The Devil Went Down to Georgia as Spamton G. Spamton.
Huh.
The possessed puppet from Delta Room. Yes, Orange, Down with the Sickness by Disturbed, but as sung by Pamphlet. I'm sure you both have met Pamphlet at this point.
Yes, I have met Pamphlet.
I haven't.
Pamphlet
haven't?
is,
Get ready
Pamphlet
for
was my
chaos.
first attempt to make a copy of myself. Because the library got so big that I can't do everything on my own, so I tried to make a copy of myself, but it didn't really work out, and she's become her own thing. And Pamphlet is just like a little version of me, because a pamphlet is a little book.
So yes, chaos.
Sounds
Hold
fun.
on, I'll go get her. Hello!
Now she's gone.
This is Pamphlet.
Now she.
Ta-da! With the little chibi model is Pamphlet.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, that's Pamphlet.
Very cool.
It's Pamphlet. And some people think Pamphlet is evil. Pamphlet doesn't
I
really.
said chaos. I said chaos.
I literally thought you were gonna come out as like a trifold version of yourself, like a little pamphlet. I was like, what am I gonna get? I didn't know how it was gonna work, but in my mind, it wasn't this. This is much cuter.
You thought it was just a bookmark.
So
Yeah.
the reason why I have that chibi model is because there was a graphical glitch with my original model, and my rig mom was like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Hey, it's perfectly fine." She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make you this chibi version for free." I'm like, "Okay."
And you're
That's
like,
cool.
I want it. It's like that Leonardo DiCaprio where he's like sitting on the couch and he's just pointing like, I want it.
I would love my chibi model to be rigged, or my chibi art to be like done as a model. It would be so
I
cute.
am getting like a new model, well, two new models.
Ooh.
One model that's like gonna be official, like of me, and then one that's kind of like in a completely like different style. That's kind of like chibified. That's gonna be the official pamphlet model.
Ooh.
I would really like to get one, and it's a completely different style for myself. But you know, one of these days.
So
One of these days I'm gonna get a 2D model. One of these days.
anything else?
One of
we
these
can
days, I'll
talk
get a
about?
3D one.
Anything else we can
High
talk about?
five.
Woo! High five. Well, head bat. I can't. I literally went off camera. Like, I just like went off camera. It just stopped right above your head.
I have nothing else I can really talk about right now.
Other ideas of things to talk about from this one?
I'm trying to remember the website that's really good for gigs.
Casting
For
Call
voice
Club.
acting gigs. Yes, that's the one. Casting Call Club. That's a good one.
Also, please bear in
Definitely.
mind that when you're getting into voice acting, it's difficult. It is like trying to play darts with a stack of post-it notes and hoping that one sticks when it finally lands.
Yep.
It's a matter of throwing post-it notes at a dartboard from 20 feet away, hoping that one sticks after it lands.
And it's just like applying for a new job. You just get your applications out there and you just see which one sticks. That's basically the same thing with auditions.
Of course, the book makes a paper analogy.
Listen here, you little shit.
Yes.
But yeah, I have a little freaking lined paper notebook just full of all of my auditions. So what I would do is I would look at the lines they want read for the audition, write them down, or print them out, and then if I didn't get that job, I would just like scratch it out. So scratch out like all the dialogues because you don't want to take their dialogue. So
That's smart.
No.
so you don't want to like copyright again. But like I've done auditions for commercials, auditions for what are the like the novel games for like
Visual novels?
Yeah, visual novels. I've done a few auditions for visual novels, auditions for games, auditions for YouTube videos, auditions for characters in YouTube reels, or not reels, but like YouTube series. What else? I think that's about it. So that's all I've auditioned for. I haven't auditioned for like a animated like series or show, so I don't have any tips or tricks for that. That's about it really for me. So like I haven't even done that much public speaking like Justice has, so I can't say any tips or tricks on that as well.
All right.
Except for just drink water. Drink water and calm yourself down by using your deep breaths before a speech.
Life tips: drink water, breathe.
Drink water and breathe.
There you go.
Also, I've heard like people like give an analogy of like for public speaking, it's just so cliche and stereotypical, but think of the audience as naked. So people have literally told me that like if you're ever gonna do public speaking, just think of them naked. I'm like, what? So I'm like, wait, wouldn't that just distract me more? But
I've always, it's the power thing there. Like you're the one in control. You're the one who's dressed. You're not the one who's in the audience naked. So that's what they're going for, I think. But I'd be distracted trying to do that. It'd be weird.
It would be weird. But also be prepared for distractions as well. Even for voice acting, instead of like voice acting for online, voice acting in person, like auditioning in person.
What if the
for
audience is
voice
full of
acting,
hot people?
when it's just literally you go into a room, it's the director and maybe the producer and maybe that's it. And be like prepared for distractions and also be prepared for them to be like, no, you're good, next. But you definitely also want to be open to the director as well. Like don't walk in and them ask you what you're gonna do. You want to ask them what you want to show them. So be like, I'm here, basically be there for them and be like, so I'm here, what do you want to see me do? Don't wait for them to be like, oh, we want to see you do this kind of thing. So I've heard people do that as well. And also mood and tone. I've heard of a story. It was this lady that was auditioning. It was for a show. It was for like an animated show, and she got really into the character, like bodily, but she didn't have the voice. But it still moved the director, to actually, instead of getting the character that she auditioned for, she got a different character in the show.
That is actually really, really awesome.
So also, just in-person auditions, be open to being the first one to show your confidence, as well as not standing still, like acting out how the character would act out.
I've got a question for you. This will be our last question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you athletic? And if you are, can you do a backflip for us? Orange?
I can do a somersault. All right, here we go.
God damn it, Orange.
Oh, hi, Mark.
I gotta move my dog quick though.
Hello there, Azrielga.
Here we go. All right. Oh my god, my knee's cracked. All right, I did it. All right, we did a somersault. There you go, Orange.
YouTube. That's gonna be a great way to end it. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my lovely guests. Once again, I have PinkJustice, not to be confused with Punk Justice when he has a mohawk, and ChikiW.
Hi, bye.
Bye. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us, Index.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Index.
For now, the recording button is being hit, and I will see you in the next episode, YouTube. Bye-bye.
Bye.